everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the Addydae Designs video blog. My name's Deanne, your host, and this video blog is I never know what adjectives to use, my adventures in crochet designing, a little bit of knitting, and generally everything yarn related. So welcome, thanks for dropping by. I feel like it's only been a month since my last recording, or just over, I think, roughly a month, and that's awesome for me because there was a big gap last time. I feel like a lot of podcasters, every time they upload a new video, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's been ages. It's kind of like confession, you know, I'm terribly sorry, subscribers, for I've been slack and it's been 3 months since my last recording. But I'm not going to do that this time because it's only been a month, so I'm hoping that's good. How are you guys? Are you all well? I hope you are. It's getting to a crazy time of the year, trying to finalise everything towards the end of the year, whether it's school or preparing for holidays and things like that. So I'm very happy to be able to squeeze in probably my last recording for 2018. So today is December the 10th. Yes, it is December the 10th. We're well and truly into summer here in Canberra, Australia, just if you're wondering where I was from. Yeah, it took a little while to kick in, but summer is definitely here. Although today we woke up and it was cool and rainy, so don't know. But we had 32, 34 degrees over the weekend, so it was really warm, but made for really, really nice barbecue and outside living weather. So that's where we're at. I have a few things to show you, not as many things as I would like, not because I haven't been doing anything, because I've been very busy, but a couple of the finished objects I made since the last recording, I don't have anymore. But anyway, more about that later. So, yeah, no finished objects at all. I don't have any, because they're both gone. Actually, while we're talking about them, I may as well, instead of talking about them later, I'll tell you about them now. There were two shawls that I made for Angela of One Tree Hill, not One Tree Hill, Black Wattle Yarn. I made two new samples, one of the Majura shawl and one of the Mapleton shawl in some of her new colourways. Angela's totally revamped the range of colours for Black Wattle Yarn. If you haven't heard of Black Wattle Yarn before, it is all Australian alpaca, and not just alpaca. Angela's actually introduced a sock blend now, which contains, I think it's 20% merino and 20% nylon. Ooh, I could have that wrong. I might be getting it mixed up because there is also an 80-20 blend of merino, 80 alpaca, 20 merino as well. I'm going to put the details down the bottom here. Anyway, in any case, you should definitely try out Black Wattle Yarn. It is beautifully, divinely soft alpaca. Don't be put off if you've used alpaca in the past that hasn't been so great, because I've used other, I'm not going to name names, but I've used other yarn companies' alpaca that was not that pleasant to use, sadly. And I know alpaca is not a cheap fibre to buy either, so that can be disappointing. But I've used a lot of Black Wattle Yarn, previously known as One Tree Hill alpaca, and loved every stitch. So definitely check out Angela's website. I'll put a link below the video, not along the bottom of the screen here, but all show notes for everything I talk about, all the designs and everything, I'll put links below so that you can just click on it and go straight to the information there. So yeah, two samples, fully completed, and I don't have them to show you. I did take a few snaps just before I delivered them to Angela over the weekend. Look, they're not the greatest photos, but I'll insert them. Maybe I could do that little picture-in-picture thing. So they might be here right now if I can do it. So you can have a look at them. But yeah, they're living at the Black Wattle Farm Shop now. So if you're local, pop out and have a look. Angela also has the patterns available there if you like your hard copies there. So they were my only finished objects, although that's no mean feat, starting and finishing within the month. I thought that was pretty impressive. So what else have I been working on? it's more shawls. This one you've seen before. It is the Waru shawl, which is on the mannequin here, which is probably a bit blurry on your screen because of the distance. I have been working on the pattern. It is currently in testing now, somewhat. What does that even mean? Yes, it's being tested now is what I mean. It's just that I haven't finalised the instructions for the edging, so my very brave testers have begun the project without even the full set of instructions. So either they're very trusting of me or they're a little bit crazy, or maybe a bit of both, but in any case they help me out a lot. So I've been working on the design. What was that? Sorry about that. I've been working on the design. The reason, well, one of the reasons it's taken so long is that since I made this sample, I changed a little bit. Did I talk about that last time? I can't remember. I changed a little bit so that along the bottom you actually get more chevrons in the final row. Because, yeah, I just felt they were getting a little bit too wide, which took away from the design element that was being featured. Because if you remember, this is a crochet version of Amber O'Brien's Kimber shawl, which she asked me to make. So yeah, it's supposed to be yeah, a copy. I always freak out when I have to say that, but it is. I'm doing a crochet version of her shawl at her request so that the design is available to crocheters as well. So I've got to replicate it accurately. So modified a little bit, which essentially meant rewriting all the instructions because it changed everything. It changed the stitch counts for each pattern repeat. It changed each row repeat. Yeah, anyway, it changed everything. So I had to do it again. So it's taken a long time. So anyway, here I have 2 more samples on the go because I don't know about other designers, but part of my design process is generally I make one and I write down notes to see if I like how it looks in the end. Then I will type up the instructions so that I've got them on an actual document that can be edited. And then I'll make it again from those instructions, because then I can pick up any errors that I've made from the written instructions, that were handwritten ones to the typewritten ones, and go from there. So 2 more samples on the go. This is one which is, oh, that looks pretty. I surprised myself. This one is going to be from my mum. She loves neutrals. She wears a lot of beige and things. Since she started going a little grayer, it's not grey, she's going more platinum. Platinum, that's what it is. Anyway, she used to be quite brunette, and now her hair is very fair. And we were talking about it last time I was visiting, and she was saying it has changed a lot of her wardrobe colours, colours that she never suited before, she feels she can wear, and they look really good. I mean, I think she looks good all the time, but anyway, I digress. This one is for her. These are from some reasonably deep stash. This top one I think was just some Peyton's baby wool I had in stash, and it just happened to be enough to do this first section. I think I had this tiny little nugget left over, so it was perfect. I was starting to worry that I was playing a bit of yardage chicken when I was making it, but I was pretty confident that that first section would use only 50 grams, which it did, which is great. The second one is a Circus Tonic handmade colour, and do you think I can remember the name of that either? I'll put a link to my project page below that you can click on. You can go straight to the project page and you can get all the details on exactly the colourway names and everything. And then this bottom one, oh, okay, epic podcast fail today. I cannot even remember the brand of yarn it is. Bellevue Park yarn, and it's crazy soft. Oh my goodness. the ball has just fallen down. This is the ball of yarn of the bottom colour. It's a lovely chocolate. It's probably coming up a tad more caramel on the camera. That's pretty real. That's pretty accurate there. This stuff is, I can't even explain how soft this is. This is probably one of the softest yarns I have ever touched. And I use a lot of yarn that I say is soft, I know that. So you might think, yeah, you say that about all of them, but honestly, this is crazy soft. Very, very, very fine, very fine micron count on this one. I remember talking to, now I'm going to forget the name. What is it? It wasn't Jim from Bellevue Park. Anyway, I was talking to one of the gentlemen from Bellevue Park about this yarn when I bought this particular ball, and he was saying they can get, I think they can get their wool down to 14 microns, which is crazy soft, crazy. The higher the micron, the thicker the yarn. So the lower the number, the finer it is, because they actually measure how fat the strand is, and that's the microns. So yeah, it's crazy soft. I was almost kind of bummed that it wouldn't have, I don't know, I toyed with the idea of having the chocolate here, because that's what's touching, you know, it's the closest part that's going to be to Mum's neck, but I didn't know if it would work. And then I wasn't sure if I would have enough of, in fact I know I wouldn't have had enough of this colour to do as the third colour. So anyway, that's it. It's looking a little sad and crumpled because it's not blocked, but those chevrons are going to block out beautifully. There's another lace panel in the in the chocolate colour to go along the bottom, and then this one will be finished. This is the small version, which will be a 3 colour, and the large version will have 4 colours in it. So that's the plan. I don't know if you can see, let's see how well, can you see I've got stitch markers hanging off the bottom? There's one in the middle there. That one was probably the easiest to see. Oh, if it's not, there we go. Right in my, yeah, armpit, that's nice. The reason I've got those on at the moment is you don't need them in the pattern. I was just counting, and I find my brain can cope really well up to about 50 stitches, and then after a while I can go from like 60 to 80 without realising, you know, 69, 80, 81. It could be a blonde thing, I don't know. So what I've done is I've counted 50, put a marker, counted another 50, put another marker, another 50, put a marker, because in this checking stage that I'm at with the design, I want to make sure that my math works, and not only that my math works, that I've actually increased the correct number. So it's just a double check. So yeah, if you happen to notice those markers on the bottom, that's what they're there for. I did count them, and I have the right amount of stitches. Yay! But they're not required for the pattern in that section, at least. There is part of it when you create the first part of the body, the plain section there, where I use scrap yarn as a stitch marker, as you've seen in some of my other designs like the blur shawl, but that is the only time you need markers, just for the increases across that first part. All the other increases are worked into the pattern repeat. So yeah, that is whip number 1. My next whip is exactly the same design, so I'm really sorry to be boring you, but completely different colours. How pretty are these? I mean, I love the neutrals, don't get me wrong, but you know, this colour here is totally my jam, as you know. And have you seen 2019 Pantone colour of the year is Living Coral. So obviously 2019 is just going to be my year of colour. Like I've paid any attention to it prior to now. Yeah, I noticed the post come up on someone's Instagram feed the other day. I thought, oh, awesome, I love that colour. It is totally my favourite, makes me happy every time I wear it. It's the colour that when I do wear it, people go, oh, you're looking well, you know. So I don't know, obviously I'm guessing it must suit me, but I love it anyway, so double bonus if that's the case. Yeah, the ultraviolet is not my colour, although you can see this is a little, you know, 2018 colour of the dedicated spot there. I am very drawn to purples and plums, but never wear them, like ever, hardly ever. I'm trying to think if I have one purple thing in my wardrobe. Is that crazy? Do you do that as well? Are there colours that you never wear, but when you go into a yarn store, it's just like this, you're just drawn to it? Yeah, I'd say as far as yarn goes, equally drawn to the corals and the purples. So what's with that? I don't know. Anyway, back to Waru number 2 for today. These are all Dingo Dye Works colours. Again, I can't remember the names. This one's Pinky, I know that one. And then these two I will have to check for you. Absolutely love them. Like, look at that up close. Oh, so much going on with those, yet they don't look busy. At least I don't think so. I think they're very speckled, those two colours, because I'm only up to my third there. But I think they're so heavily speckled that it almost creates like a semi-solid, which, you know, works really well in crochet. So yeah, really happy with how it's turning out. And the fourth colour on that one is going to be very dramatic on the bottom. It's going to be this black, which is a Dingo Dye Works colour too. Let me just, yeah, well, it's an almost black. Whose name I can't remember. What is it with me today? Sorry, everyone whose yarn I've referred to so far without naming any of the colourways. So yeah, Dingo Dye Works. Actually, the very first sample I made of Waru is using all Dingo Dye Works colours as well. So, which is what I was going for, because I thought Amber is an Aussie designer, so Australian designer to start with. Kimber is an Aboriginal word for fire, which is what she named her design. Because I'm duplicating that in crochet, I used another Aboriginal word for fire. Waru is an Aboriginal word for fire. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm saying it. And I'm using all Australian dyer yarn, Dingo Dye Works, for the samples. So it's an all Aussie design, this one, it seems to be anyway. But, you know, use whatever yarn you like. That's just what look, I had the colours that coordinated, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool if I could do the small and the large in the Dingo Dye Works colours for this fully Aussie design. So there you go. Work in progress number 2 and design in progress all rolled into one there. The other thing I have been working on that I can show you that is any different from last time. Actually, it's completely different from last time because you haven't seen it before. At least I'm pretty sure you haven't. No, I don't think you have. I'm working on a new sock pattern. You guys, the Segway socks, you blew me away with how many of you purchased the pattern and made them and have finished them already. I mean, I know socks are quicker than a lot of projects, but wow, some of you whip those up in like no time. And they look amazing. So thank you so much for your response to that design. You've very much inspired me to work on some more sock designs. So yeah, hence this little whip I'm working on. Now that's the front of the sock. This is the back, so it's not textured on the back. So very similar to the Segway socks in that it's post stitches. I was actually inspired by the inside out Segway sock, but what I'm going to do, because it's not going to be same, it's going to be same but different. I'm going to do this one with a completely different heel. So the Segway socks have a short row heel. This one is going to have a gusset, heel flap and heel turn. So completely different in all other respects. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's looking. It very much showcases this yarn nicely. The colours, now let's see if I can finally get some colours for you. The toe is in Hedgehog Fibres Sock, which, come on computer, there we go. And this is Monarch, I think. I actually remembered. Did I? Yes! Not a total fail after all. So that's Monarch in Hedgehog Fibres Sock yarn, which it's not focusing. There we go. Which is a lovely colour. I love the black speckles in this. And the body, here we go. This is where I'm going to fall down because I don't have the label. This is Hedgehog Fibres Twist Sock in another colourway. Just when I thought I was going to get it. But look at this, like it's so delicate and lovely, just slightly speckled. And I don't know, can you see those really hot fluoro pink, maybe you can see more on the other side, pinky orangey speckles there. I thought they tied in really well with the toe colour. So they're my two colours. I know they're two different bases. I've been wanting to try the twist sock for a while, and it does work up differently. Yeah, I think it's nice to work with. I think it will be a bit more hard wearing. It doesn't tend to be as splitty as the sock. Don't hate me. Look, I love the Hedgehog Fibres sock, but I have found it to be a little splitty. So yeah, the twist doesn't behave like that, which is great, especially when you're using a tighter gauge for a sock. You really don't want that to be annoying you. And I don't know, even the stitch, yeah, this pattern seems to be creating a different gauge. I'm not sure yet. Not till I finish the whole sock will I know for sure, because I can put two socks on to compare. Because I mean, how different can stitch counts be from one sock to another? Can't be that different. So, but I think it's to do with how I work, the tension I work my back post stitches compared to the tension on my front post stitches. Yeah, I'll let you know. The jury's out on that. That just could be my personal crochet technique. And it could also be using a different yarn. So I won't know till I do make up a sock, I suppose, with very similar yarns to compare. But I thought this was a little bit looser. So it could have something to do with the difference in tension, because with this one there's more back post stitches, and with the Segway socks there's more front post. So there you go. I will let you know, because of course I know you won't sleep until you find out the answer to that one. So yeah, don't remember if I mentioned it, but these are going to be called the Rundle socks. Rundle is, from memory, I did Google it and I looked it up in dictionary.com, like an old English word related to rungs of a ladder, which I thought was what the pattern looked like, hence the name. So the Rundle socks have been born and hopefully should be available relatively soon. I hope. You know me. Moving on, we won't dwell on how long some of my designs take, so you know, it's life, people. So what other news do I have? Because that's pretty much it as far as projects go. I do have loads of other designs in progress, some of which are just in here, some I have sketched out, some I've started swatches for. I should probably just focus on a few, or maybe just one, and get it done. But there's always a lot going on in here. A couple of other things I have been doing in the background. I don't know if you saw my Instagram post about it, but I've got to stop looking away from the camera, I'm thinking. And I did it again. And again, oh my goodness. I have been adding charts to a lot of my older designs. The most recent that got charts added to it was my Majura shawl pattern. If you haven't seen them already, you're going to love the charts in those. They are so great. So if you're a chart person, you will love, well, I hope you'll love these. I'm a bit of both, although I can work something from a chart only, but I find them very good for supporting each other. You know, the written instructions are good to take things step by step, and then I find that charts, because they mimic the shape of what your actual project is going to be like, I find that very helpful too, so you can sort of see where you're going in the future, whereas written instructions don't really demonstrate what the following rows are going to look like in relation to the row you're doing. So I find that really, really helpful. Currently, the Floral Dreams blanket is having the charts created for that, so if you have purchased that in the past, you will get an update for that pattern. Yeah, so I've been going through and working out which ones lend themselves to charts, because not all of the designs require charts. I shouldn't say that though, because some people only read charts and have difficulty with written instructions. So rest assured, I'm going to add charts to as many of my designs as possible. Yeah, so stay tuned, check out your Ravelry inboxes for updates to your Addydae Designs library patterns, because yeah, I'll be adding them as I go. What else has happened since last time? I had the shawl shape workshop at Blackwattle Yarn. I had to think for a second. It was at One Tree Hill Alpaca Farm. It was Blackwattle Yarn's shawl shape workshop there. We had a lovely group of ladies. It was really nice. Had a ball, and we got to feed the alpacas and lead a couple of them around on a halter, the ones that are show trained, so they don't have a problem with being, like, you know, led around on a lead. So they were cute little guys. I'll add some pictures in here to show you the alpacas and stuff like that. We had a really, really nice time. So here's the photos now. So how cute are they? Seriously, alpacas are so adorable. So we had a lot of fun, and if you did miss out on the shawl shape class this time round, I will be having another one probably March, April next year. That's the plan anyway. The date hasn't been set yet, but it's sort of been loosely penciled in. So I will keep you posted on a date for another shawl shaping class, and probably some additional classes, well, hopefully additional classes being held out at Blackwattle Yarn Farm Shop. So that was a lot of fun. Something else I wanted to say was a big thank you to the new Making Things subscribers that used my unique referral link. Making Things launched at the beginning of last month. There was quite a bit of controversy over the launch, which I'm not going to go into, but yeah, if you haven't heard of Making Things, it's a subscription-based web app, currently a web app, soon to be a proper app, that for your monthly subscription fee you have access to all the patterns on the platform. So currently I have a smaller selection of patterns on there which are being added to. This takes time, and I know that the Making Things team have people working quite literally around the clock, because they're from all around the world, adding patterns, but there are new patterns being added to it every day, and I will slowly add my pattern library to the app as well. But for you guys who actually used my unique referral link, thank you so much. If you want to know what that is, I'll put a link below. What it does, if you sign up using my referral link, I get an extra bonus for the first 2 months you stay subscribed from making things. It doesn't cost you any extra. It's exactly the same fee for you regardless of whether you use my link or not. But yeah, it helps support me as a designer. So all of you that used my unique link, thank you very much. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing. So yeah, lots of things are being added to making things all the time, and the library available to you is going to grow and continue to grow as that goes on. So for those of you that have signed up, I hope you're enjoying it. I've used it a bit, but I haven't had as much time to use it as I would have liked, because I'm working on creating more things to add to to making things. But yeah, it's actually brought to my attention a lot of designers that I wasn't aware of. So I mean, how is that even possible? I would have thought I'd kind of, not that I thought I knew them all, but you know, just all of a sudden to, what am I trying to say? To come across someone new that is amazing is great, isn't it? Don't you love it when you discover a new designer and it's like, wow, how have I not found them before? So yeah, so I'm going to be using a little bit more as time permits. And I've got something in my eye. I'm so sorry if I'm looking a little bit like a crazy person blinking. Yeah, so that was yeah, it was an exciting time for the launch of making things, because it's something completely and utterly different. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this out. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I think it was an eyelash. I'm not entirely convinced I've got it yet, but anyway, we will continue. While we're on the subject of eyeballs, I got my eyes checked last week. I need new glasses. I've been forced into a new subscription. So yeah, I kind of had a feeling that I needed to update, and I was like, no, it'll be fine. Because I found myself constantly cleaning my lenses, like obsessively, thinking, it's smudged again, what's going on? No, it's not smudged, it's actually, I can't see properly through it. How bad is that? What? Yeah, my left eye is far worse than my right, so I've kind of taken a nosedive in the eyesight department of late, apparently, which is apparently common in your late 40s. The joys. Anyway, so I'm going to get some funky new frames. I'm still going to keep these because I really like them, but I've decided, I've had this for a few years, so I've decided to use it as an opportunity to get some new frames as well. So we'll see how that goes. I hate picking frames, do you? Oh my goodness, that's why I wait so long, because I find it so hard. Anyway, nothing to do with yarn. Moving on, last episode at the end we had a little question and answer part. So I've still got a couple of questions from ones that you messaged to me a few episodes ago. If you can hear that noise in the background, that is my washing machine spinning a load. So I apologise if there's that weird hum, but it shouldn't last for long. So yeah, I thought I'd answer a couple more. So here goes. That dazzling introduction to this segment. Yeah, wasn't it? Okay, so Hannah, who is, if I'm reading my own notes correctly, is My Mummy Heart on Instagram, asked, where do I get my inspiration for my designs? Hannah, everywhere. Gosh, that's so hard to pinpoint. I don't think there's any one place. I have loads and loads of stitch dictionaries that I love to flick through, and sometimes it'll be a case of seeing a stitch pattern that just pure and simple appeals to me, and then I'll build a design from that. So I'll think, okay, I've started with this stitch, what would that look good in? That would look great as an edging on a shawl, or as a texture on well, I haven't done too many sweaters, but I do have plans for some more textured sweaters and things like that. But yeah, mainly shawls and things like that, or it could be a hat edging. But yeah, you build from there and work from there. You have to consider, you know, how difficult will increases be if I use that and things like that. Other times I start with the actual item I'm planning to make. So I might start with the silhouette of a shawl, say an asymmetrical triangle or a semicircle, and then I'll build from there. So okay, what stitches are going to lend themselves to the type of increase rates that I'm going to have for that shape and things like that. So yeah, it's very organic for me, and it can start with something as simple as a stitch pattern in a stitch dictionary. So there you go. I'm sorry I don't have this deep and meaningful, I'm inspired by the natural elements around me. That just doesn't seem to be my kind of thing. And I'm not saying that that's not right for others, just for me as a designer. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit, I don't know how to describe it, but that's my process anyway. But the inspiration point can sometimes be as simple as, hey, I feel like designing a hat. How's that for deep and meaningful? So, I hope that hasn't disappointed you too much. Okay, I amused myself, obviously. Alright, Heather. Heather asked, what made you start to design your own garments? That one's simple. That was kind of a natural progression. Small accessories are easier, like hats, and I was doing children's skirts, which don't have much shaping in them, and graduating, I'll call it graduating to actual garments. Like this year I've released 2 sweaters, which I'm so excited about. While I mentioned sweaters, okay, I'm diverting, but has anyone checked out the hashtag 2018 Year of the Sweater on Instagram? I can't quite remember who started it, but it's got the most beautiful selection of handmade sweaters, or jumpers as we call them here in Australia. Yeah, I've been following it, and it's full of awesome inspo and beautiful things if you want to check it out. So yeah, just naturally progressed because sweaters are more difficult to design and to grade for different sizing and things like that. So I just sort of gradually worked my way up to actual garments that I could wear. Another question was, Lisa says, you've said your mum was from Canada. Would I ever come to Canada? Lisa, absolutely yes. I would love to go. That would be amazing. Whether or not that opportunity presents itself, we kind of have a loose idea of doing that one day. I would absolutely love to go to Canada. If you haven't always watched, my mum is from Ontario, Canada. My dad's from England, so I'm first generation Aussie here. But yeah, I would so love to go. So Lisa, I'm going to hold you to your offer of showing me around when I get there, okay? So be prepared. When we're ready to go, I'll be calling you or messaging you and saying, so, what have you got planned? Wouldn't that be great? And just one more. I'm not going to drag the questions out for you. I'm sure I've bored you long enough. Laura asked me, are you or have you ever been a sewist? Is sewing something you're interested in? Yes and no. Yes, I have been in the past. I did textile and design in high school, loved sewing, used to make a lot of my own clothes as a teenager. I've done sewing since school. I've sewn some things for the girls. Okay, you're not allowed to laugh. I even made nappies for my, the ones I made were for Imogen, and we still had them. So yeah, I'm a cloth nappy girl. Like, I don't wear them myself right now, just to clarify. But yeah, made nappies. You can buy kits and patterns and all the waterproofing necessities that you need for handmade nappies. Who would have known that? I didn't know that until I had children. But you can, and I did. Yeah, and I've sewn a few things. Look, I've got an overlocker and I've got a sewing machine and I know how to do it. My mum was, she made men's business shirts for a living before she had children. So she taught us to sew. So it's something that we always did. The only thing I find with it is there's a lot of setup and pack up. And If I had a dedicated room where I could leave the sewing machine out, that would be amazing, and I would probably do loads. But yeah, that's why I find crochet is quite good. It's very portable. You can pick it up, put it down. There's no setup and pack up. So yeah, I don't do a lot. I would like to. I like the idea of it, and I have got fabric up in the cupboard that I bought to make skirts for the girls for winter. Because surprisingly, I mean, seriously guys, it gets really cold here in Canberra in the winter time. It's virtually impossible to find a knee-length skirt for girls in winter. What's with that? I mean, okay, they wear long pants too, but really? Anyway, so yeah, bought some fabric to make some skirts for the girls, which I'm yet to do, but you know my track record on getting winter things ready and done by winter. One day, you know, one day. So yeah, have done it a bit, don't tend to do it a lot, but you know, it's on the list. So guys, that's about all I have for you. I hope you've been well. As I said before, this is probably going to be my last recording before the end of the year. So yeah, we've got 2 more weeks before school holidays begin. Yay! So excited. Love school holidays here because it means I get a holiday too. If you didn't know, I homeschool our girls. Yeah, so we're all very much looking forward to the end of the school year here, which would be great. And then we have a few things planned over the summer. So wherever you are and whatever you have planned for the holiday period, whether it's winter or summer, we've got both extremes going at the moment, please stay safe and enjoy whatever you're doing, and hopefully I will catch up with you sometime in the new year. I've got some interesting things coming up that I'm looking forward to sharing with you when I can. I've got some fab collaborations. Oh, try say fab collab fast 3 times. That's ridiculous, don't say that. Some awesome collaborations coming up that I will tell you about as I get more to show you. One of them's with Fibre Lily, and the other one is with, well, one of the other ones is with the Australian Wool Store, and I have a third with Pirate Pearl Yarns. So I'm working on all those in the background at the moment, and when I have something decent to share with you, I will. So that's something exciting. Yeah, so keep your eyes open for some more designs being added to making things if you're a subscriber. Thanks for your patience in that area, because I know getting them on there takes some time. And yeah, I hope you're well, and I will catch you in the new year, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.